run the Phunt 25K course. It's the beginning of the new year, 2021. Yippee. Woo!
So, the Phunt 25K. Since the original race got canceled, we decided to run the full course just as a fun run. What'd you do yesterday, Mike?
Recovered, actually. A lot of trying to relax, trying to get ready for today. And I signed up for a race yesterday, so looking forward to that in September. We're running the, what is it called? The
Pine Creek
Challenge. Yes. So that was an interesting topic to say the least. I texted you saying, hey, the race is open. We signed up, went ahead and did all the stuff, and driving to the grocery store with Janelle. We're all in the car, the boys and I told Janelle, I said, hey, signed up for a race. And she's like, awesome, that's great. Like, yeah, it's in September. She's like, yeah, it should be fun, it's good. And I'm kind of like waiting for the, what is it, how far, marathon, And Kellen was the one who actually asked in the background. He goes, how far are you running, Dad? 100 miles. And he goes, 100 miles? And then Jonah, 100 miles? And then Janelle went, you're running 100 miles? Like, is that in a week? Is that in like a couple of days? And I'm like, no, 6 o'clock start time, and hopefully try to get it done within the cutoff time, which I think we can. But I think it was a little bit shocking for her to realize that, hey, this is actually coming to a real possibility of happening this year. So.
Lots of rain last night, making the trails a little sloppy. We are a couple miles in, but having lots of fun.
What did you think when you finally pulled the trigger, signed up for the race?
And so I think maybe I'm also riding a little bit of a runner's high for this month, since I actually accomplished like the entire plan this month, never missed a run. It was in my mind telling myself like, hey, I could actually, with the training, this is a real possibility. So signing up for it was almost like, let's just do it. Like I was excited to do the, even the health assessment. We talk about like high blood pressure and all this other stuff. So I was like, okay, yeah, no, let's go. Hitting submit, and then immediately after hitting submit and going like, okay, like now I'm committed. Like now I've paid for this race. Like this is, it's a real thing. I text you saying, hey, you're registered, I'm registered, let's go. And the one funny thing, and maybe this is going back to how much or how vulnerable I want to be, or how much I want to actually like allow people in on this. I actually posted it to Facebook saying I did a thing with Zach.
Yeah.
And immediately deleted it. Like I shared it, and it was like, we're doing this 100-mile race, and then like I sat there for a second and said, nope. I deleted it on Facebook because I was like, nah, this is it's not so much that I don't want to commit, but it's also one of those ones like I don't want to also let people know that if I failed, right? And so
interesting.
It was one of those. That was one of the. I realized that yesterday. I was like, I told Zach, he knows, my family will know, but let's go ahead and we'll keep this one off social media until celebration.
Yeah.
The race served as a good motivator. Since we have been running a lot on roads, getting out on some new trails was a fun adventure.
Well, I thought about your goal this year was 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And we should hit that before we hit the race. You know what I mean? Like I was like, there's a lot of miles. Like even we signed up.
Yeah, it's a fun journey to start. We'll see kind of where it takes us and what the ups and downs are. But it's cool I was excited to get something on the calendar. I feel like there's been not many targets, not many big things kind of that you think are possible. But right now, it feels like COVID will be under control enough to be able to do an outside race, do a 100-miler. It looks like a fun course to start with, and I'm excited to see you kind of walk through the journey and see what that looks like. But and also to see where we're at. So I mean, looking at where we sit today with, we started a 50K training plan as kind of a base building model. Or have 4 weeks of that down, or 4 or 5 weeks of that down now, and to see your consistency and growth. And now it's kind of one of those ones. I feel like we're at the spot where it just stick to the plan.
Yep.
You look at the plan, you see it. It's not. Today specifically, like going out and doing this 25K. Other guys are going to be running 50K. They're going to do 2 tubes. So that's a hard thing within me. I'm like, okay, let's go do the 50K.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's not. So, we're done.
Yes.
Somewhere between 15 and 17 miles, depending whose GPS you believe. Pretty sure we finished 25K on some trails. It's about 3.5 hours. We cruised along pretty good. I don't know, how does it feel, Mike?
I'm sore, I'm tired, but I think mentally I'm actually very proud of the performance. There was a little bit of walking, more than normal, but I think that's to be expected now, I think, especially these distances. But I think the 2 things that really stood out to me were, one, it was muddy, and I'm like, slipping and sliding. And any other time, I think I would have just been like, hey, dude, I'm done. Like, there was one point where we hit like, I think it was like one of the bridges, the covered bridge, that I could be like, hey, I could turn and go home from here and be back, but I didn't. And the second part was actually at the end of the race, where my GPS actually had me like 0.4 under. And for some reason, I was like, no, I need to go get this 0.4. I could have just called it and said it's okay, marked it on the calendar or the Strava that I did it, but I wanted to get that extra, making a true 25K at least by my count. So, we were good enough to just go down and do that extra 100 meters and come right back up. So, no, I was actually really proud of that run, and I'm a little tired now, and I was actually a little embarrassed walking in to get our chicken sandwiches because I'm in shorts and flip flops. But other than that, we're in the beginning of July, and it's cold, but
January.
Or January, yeah. What did I say? July, January, January. And so it's freezing here, and I'm in shorts and flip flops. So.
Well, I'm sure there'll be many more times where you look like a fool after a run, hobbling around or smelling like a mess with muddy shoes. Yeah, it was fun to get on trails. We haven't done a ton of that yet this year.
No,
and so it was a nice, different challenge. You have to slow down. It rained a lot last night, so it was muddy. It just changes how you run, and completely different new course. Neither of us have ever done it, so that made it interesting and challenging. But there was other folks who were going out to do a second loop, and I think that was one of the things coming into this. If we have a plan, for me it was easy to think about let's go do that second loop and do more. But our plan is really we should be at about 16 miles or so this weekend, and so that's what we did, and sticking to the plan and trusting the growth will come versus going out and trying to take it first thing.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the things we committed to from the get-go. It's easy for us to get sucked in or pulled into the excitement, and I think I'm proud of our performance. We didn't go super fast, but we finished the time and finished the race. So look forward to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the 100-mile or the long distance running is it's less about time and more about finishing.
Yep.
Changes everything for sure.
Tune back in to see what other adventures we can find in 2021.